Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another great show for you here on the channel. I'm going to be joined by my podcast co host, Jason DiRienzo, and we are going to give you our top 10 freshman wide receivers headed to college football. Now, you play Devy, you play C2C. It is that time of year, it is midsummer, and we're going to give you an early look so we can give you a leg up in your supplemental drafts, your Devy startup drafts. So we had fun, man. We watched the Hudl film. We're going to go in depth a little bit about each of these players, why we like them, their skill sets, and their opportunity in 2024. So like I said, you play Devy, you play C2C format. Even if you play Dynasty or Redraft, these are going to be 2027 prospects, draft prospects. Maybe a little early for you, but it'll give you an early look. That is what this channel is all about, giving us Dynasty players an early look at future assets. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the show. So get your pens and paper, everyone. Some of these names, if you play Devy, C2C, you've heard of these names. So I think we may have two or three each that might be going a little deeper. Well, I might only have one, but you've got some names on here that look pretty interesting, and I can't wait to hear all about them. So let's get right to it, man. The top 10 freshman wide receivers. You know, watching these wide receivers, guys, just from the high school film, I mean, these guys are simply dominating out there, right? I mean, that's what they're doing. They're 4-star, 5 stars, but nonetheless, I'm looking for space creation, speed, athleticism, you know, and really kind of also in my ranks, of course, the traits come first, but, you know, also like the opportunity. I mean, are we going to see some of these guys this year? I'm really hoping. These players are all 2027 eligible as well. So let's get to it, Jason, man. Let's get to our top 10 freshman wide receiver, our 2027 draft eligible NFL players. All right. Do we really need to talk about the first guy? I mean, in depth and length. I mean, I don't think we do either. It's Jeremiah Smith, man, going to Ohio State. The guy's been balling out in spring. I mean, he's the #1 recruit for every recruiting service. I mean, the guy, I think, is arguably the next Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, in all honesty. I mean, and the saddest part of all, Jason, I'm not going to have a freaking share of this guy because in all my supplemental drafts, and I'm not doing any more Devy startups. I can't be in any more leagues. Like, I'm not going to get a share. I'm not going to have a chance to because he's going to go #1 in every C2C supplemental draft, and Devy draft is going to go. So congratulations to all of the people out there who have the #1 pick. Your season must have sucked last year, but you're going to be rewarded getting Jeremiah Smith. So congratulations to each and every one of you. So #2 for me, I got TJ Moore from Clemson. You know, I really like what I see from TJ Moore. I just think there's one thing that stood out to me far and above when I watched his high school film, and that was his ball skills and hands and his ability to go up and get the ball. I thought was really good, and I really like his opportunity at Clemson. Clemson, you know, Antonio Williams is coming back. Obviously, Tyler Brown. They're more slot guys, but I have a feeling TJ Moore just might take the outside, and I'm really hoping we see him this year, man. But there's not much. He's been my #2 receiver behind Jeremiah Smith. You know, me and Luigi have been doing these film breakdowns and everything. So I've had a really good look at him. But TJ Moore, I don't know where he is on your list. Well, I guess I do, but I don't know. I like what I see from TJ Moore. Who's your #2 guy?
Yeah, my #2 guy is Micha Hudson, Texas Tech wide receiver. I'll tell you what, when I watched his junior film, I saw some of the hype, the explosiveness and the playmaking ability, but I didn't see any nuance. I didn't see, things that I look for as far as release packages or anything. I got to the senior film, blown away, man. It all came together. He is a versatile, dynamic, athletic weapon who understands the ability of how to separate the top of his routes. He's got a nice release package. He honestly, like I saw the Garrett Wilson comp that On3 put out, and I was like, you know what? I can see it. But the more I watch him and the way he plays the game, there's a lot of Malik Neighbors because I really think after the catch is where he's going to make his money, and he is a fluid navigator within the athleticism and understands exactly how to maneuver his way with play strength or agility and separation after the catch and use that long speed to break off some big plays. So Michael Hudson for me, I know he's got a knee injury right now, but the more I looked at it, it's not a knee injury. It's just more of a scope of cleaning. He's going to be fine by the beginning of the season. Dude, I think Michael Hudson is going to explode in that offense.
Yeah, well, he's going to have the whole offense because there's really no other receivers. I mean, yeah, there's some guys from a Devy
For some
standpoint.
guys, Josh Kelly, I like.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I've not watched much of Josh Kelly, so maybe I'm misspeaking. But you know, Morton is a concern at quarterback, right? I mean, that guy was just dreadful last year. So,
Mhm.
I figure that the Hudson, he's number 3 for me. So I don't think I need to go in depth, but I agree with you with his space creation and his twitchiness, and I think just from what the NFL is looking for. I mean, you're going to see at the top of my list anyway. I've got just more like explosive athletes than these bigger, thicker kind of players. But uh, I think he's going to start in the slot, and hopefully, Morton can get him the ball. I believe he's the starting quarterback for Texas Tech this year. So, but he's been pretty dreadful. But let's see what happens. So, all right, who
That's
do you
been
got?
right.
Yeah. Let's. Well, we've seen, I guess, other wide receivers do well with bad quarterbacks. I mean, I guess
That's true.
Luther Burden, but he gets all his stuff around the line of scrimmage. So, it should be
Right.
interesting to see how Hudson is used. If he's more, getting more vertical, but they might just, again, if their QB play isn't great, they might simply just, get him, the ball very quickly, like they do Luther Burden over there in Missouri. So,
Mhm.
all right. So, who's your number 3?
Yeah, my number 3 is gonna be TJ Moore, and, I agree with everything that you said, but I'm gonna add a little dynamic to it. I actually think he's a very good route runner. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I came away with when I was watching the film, and I put a couple videos out on X. Just the way he runs the route, he's manipulative, he understands how to execute his release package perfectly with foot fires, single, double moves. Even when he gets into the second level and he's got, a long vertical route. He knows how to be manipulative. He'll fake and do a sluggo. I think he's actually a much more nuanced receiver than I had originally give him credit for. And then you talk about everything that you said with the ball skills and playmaking ability and
Mm-hmm.
contested catch situations and making good adjustments to the ball. I think he's a dynamic weapon, and I would be surprised if he doesn't make a name for himself in year one. I think he's just too good to keep off the field or not getting the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think he's just I think Troy Stellato is in front of him. So if he's as good as we think he is, he should be able to
He should be
at
able to
least
beat him.
get on the field and at least contribute.
Right.
So my number 4, I've got Ryan Williams from Bama.
Mm,
This kid's only 17 years old. And again, I'm going for the explosive athlete. I find him
mhm.
very sudden in his movement skills, flexible, elusive. I thought he had some decent length for, he's just on the smaller side as well. He's 6 foot, 165 pounds. So again, he's one of these, it's kind of like Branch over at USC, right? Just one of these smaller, twitchy, explosive receivers. And we see them getting a lot of play in the NFL right now. And, he's high recruit. And I don't think you can really watch the guy's film and come away with thinking that, he's not going to be a very good space creator in college.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of that. He's not too far down my list either. Number 4, I have Mylan Graham, Ohio State receiver,
Your boy.
and I honestly think he's one of the better route runners in this class. Just understands how to separate, understands how to manipulate. It's almost like he knows exactly what the DB's planning on doing, and he knows how to execute his moves. He's got the speed. He's very explosive. You get the ball in his hands, he could take it to the house instantly. So as much as you like Ryan Williams, and I do too, I like he's almost like a bigger
Mhm.
version of Ryan Williams, just the way he plays within his space creation and ability to really exploit zone coverage in the center of the field. So Mylan Graham to me definitely deserves to be in the top 5.
Yeah, with that, he's not very far behind for me, but before Mylan Graham, who is number 6 for me, I got JJ Trader. Um, So I like this kid a lot. I mean, I think he has premier. Here's in my notes in my scouting report: premier ball skills and body control to match. He's got inside outside versatility, elusiveness, and he's a space creator. I really liked his deep ball tracking ability. And you know what the best part is? He's got that dog in him, baby. He's got
Yeah.
the
I noticed that too.
intangibles. He gets up and he is in your face. He is tough, physical, fighting for every yard. And as much as we might be excited about Jacoby George and Restrepo and Isaiah Horton, who are going to be most likely the starters, I would like to see JJ, Trader, really get on the field this year. And there's a good chance he's down. He's an early enrollee in spring. He's
Mhm.
making plays. The coaches are raving about him, and I think he's just that perfect size, 6 foot, 180 pounds. It seems like the perfect, kind of those elusive wide receivers are kind of that size. So I got JJ Trader here, or at Joe Shisha, I guess they call him otherwise,
Sheesh.
at number 5. Did I bastardize his name? Because that's what I do.
No, you didn't.
So
I
okay,
just I was thinking back to our last podcast when we were trying to say his name together, and I was just like, just say JoJo because
JoJo. Just say JoJo.
it's so much easier. Yeah,
So
because I don't know how to say his first name either.
who's your number
Uh,
5?
Yeah, number 5, I got Ryan Williams. I can't disagree with anything that you said. As a matter of fact, I think you kind of nailed every point that I would have talked about. He's going to be that guy that, he's a pretty special athlete, but he's also very intelligent. So there's a lot of opportunity at Alabama. They've been waiting for a guy to come on. Who knows? It could
Sure
be Ryan
have.
Williams as soon as this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the depth chart. I mean, Bernard, we don't know from Washington what he's going to be, although we're excited about him. Kobe Prentice and Jalen Hale. I mean, they haven't really
Right.
emerged. So, and as a little tidbit of information, I read that he is actively trying to work out with Devonta Smith, another freshman who
Oh,
really popped. So,
don't
they're
tell me
trying
that
to,
because Shaz
yeah.
Preston did the same thing, and that got me all excited, and that never happened. So
All
come
right.
on, Ryan Williams.
All right, strike that from the record of the podcast, please. My producer. Who's my producer? Oh, yeah, that's me. Okay. All right. So at number 6 for me, I've got Mylan Graham. So I agree with you. He's been your boy. You've been all over Mylan Graham for some time. And, the big question is, he's probably not going to get on the field this year. And there are
I can't
reports
imagine.
that he's
Yeah.
going to, he's not going to get there till I believe the end of June, which is kind of now. So he's probably just getting on campus. So he might be player obviously that's going to take some time to get in the weight room and, could possibly have a red shirt season. So who do you got at number 6?
Number 6, I got Ryan Wingo.
Nice.
I really liked the size speed combination. When I originally watched him, this was like a year ago or so. I always like to look and see who the next guys are going to be, and he was one of the top recruits when this list started forming from 24/7 Sports at the beginning. And I saw the size speed combo, but I just thought he was that deep threat guy. But he's so much more. He's a very good separator, good at the point of attack as far as in contested situations, makes good adjustments. I think he's going to fit the offense perfectly, and there's a ton of upside because that speed is pretty dynamic. I mean, he's been said to have ran in like the mid 4.3s. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty interested in a guy like that. The NFL is loving speed. So there's absolute upside here. So Ryan Wingo, I have at 6.
I like that. So I'm going to start us off at number 6. I got Mylan Graham. So this guy, I'm super excited. I'm going to plant my flag on my next number 7 guy. His name is Jeremiah McClellan. Okay, he is going to Oregon. He was an Ohio State commit who flipped at the last minute. I guess maybe he saw the depth chart there and thought maybe he wasn't going to get on the field. But I'll tell you what, he's my kind of player, man. He is physical. I don't know if you watched any McClellan film, but to me, he's got that
I did.
lower thick cap, dense frame, yak monster. Loved his these are notes on my scouting report. Loved his second level vision, was impressive. He's versatile. He took he was in the Wildcat. He took handoffs as a running back. He was put out in the slot. He was put out wide. He was doing swing passes and wide receiver screens, and he won vertically. But with his ability to run at the second level and the physicality, and he was blocking. They showed a bunch of blocking films on there as too. He's just putting guys on their ass. So and then at the spring game, he made a great play. The team was raving about him. He had a 26-yard gain, set up a touchdown in the spring game, and people are excited about him. But I'll tell you, just I watched him, his physicality and the way he played, and I just really, really like McClellan. He's going to be one of my guys through this process.
Yeah, I liked him too. I was trying to get him into the top 10. There were other guys I liked that I wanted to get in
Yeah,
there. But
absolutely,
I
man.
can't disagree with you, man. I think he's a very good receiver. And I actually think him and Jurian Dickey, if Dickey does come on and he's healthy from that injury last year, they're going to complement each other really well for the next 2 years.
I would
So
agree.
I like that call a lot. Um, so I kind of pulled a U a little bit. I kind of cheated because I didn't know what to do. I like JoJo Trader, but I also like Night Car, and they're
I
very
saw him.
similar sizes.
Yeah,
Night Car has a little bit more speed.
a
I
little
think the only thing that
explosiveness.
held me back from JJ or JoJo is there were defenders at his hip too often. I wanted to see him be able to separate a little bit better. And Carr just looked like a little bit more explosive at the top of
Hmm.
his route and within his route stem. So I kind of put them side by side here because I don't know who's going to turn out to be better. JoJo's getting the hype right now, but I really did like Carr. I mean, there's just an explosive nature to both of them. Trader's got that high point ability where Carr's got that explosive Ryan Williams playmaking ability. So they're just different receivers, but I do like both of them. So I put them at number 7. They're both going to Miami. We'll see how it
Yeah,
plays out.
yeah, exactly. And who knows what's going to happen down there? They got a crowded
Right.
room down there, but like you said, this is all 2026 is or 2025 is when
Right.
these kids are mostly going to get on
I
the
had no
field.
idea what to do with it.
All right, dude, take me to your number 8 player because the name doesn't strike with me at all. I did not watch him at all, so
Okay.
I am
You
thrilled
didn't.
to hear. I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I'm
All right.
sorry. I'm looking on 24/7
No, it's
because
okay. It's okay because it makes more sense now that I know you didn't watch him because
yeah.
I thought this would be a my guy for you if you did,
Uh-huh.
because he reminds me a ton of Malachi Corley, just the way he plays.
Ah,
The physical strength, the stop and go ability, the athleticism. I mean, this dude has so much athleticism and functional speed that if he has the ball, he's always a threat. Whether he's on a vertical route, whether he's getting the ball from the backfield. There was the first play of the game, I think, that I was watching of him was a botched snap. He picks up the ball, literally runs through like 10 different defenders and runs it in for a touchdown. I mean, just the movement mechanics of this kid with the brute play strength that he comes with. He's able to, win in contested catch situations. I love Braylon Staley. I don't even know if I said his name. I love Braylon Staley. He's going to Tennessee. I don't think he's going to get much run this year, but this is one of those guys where he's such a versatile weapon. He's got the play strength and he's got the speed that I'm highly intrigued. And I actually liked him a lot more than I liked Mike Matthews when I was watching him. And Mike Matthews didn't even make my top 10.
yeah, he didn't make my top 10 either, but hey man. Well, it's I going on vacation next week. I guess I'm going to be watching some
There you
Braylon
go.
Staley on Hudl. So
Got someone to watch.
number 8 for me, I got Bryant Wesco, a Clemson wide receiver, flashed in the spring game a little bit, but I like his ability a lot. I think again, Clemson, we talked about before. With TJ Moore getting some run. I think he's going to be a slot receiver, in
Mm,
college. But I
I just
liked I think he's a good, quick accelerator. His separation off the line, I thought in his high school film and in the limited reps that he had in the spring game were pretty solid. So I don't know. I know he's undersized, but I don't really, I think, something that I've always been worried about. I'm just not going to worry about that anymore, given the fact that these smaller, thinner players, Troy Franklin, these guys that are, because I think I'm going to look on my dashboard here. I think he's like 170 and 6 foot or something like that.
yeah.
But I don't know, shifty, quick, in and out of his breaks, really quite a nice fade pattern in the spring game. So made an impact in the
Yeah,
spring. So Bryant Wesco is my number 8 receiver.
Yeah, the spring really put him on the map. I mean, I liked his film, but the spring definitely did it. It's interesting because he's not that typical Clemson type of receiver. So I want to know how Dabo's actually going to use him. And there's so many bodies in front of him that I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
sure. I don't think he's going to get much run this year, but surely next year. The only reason he didn't make my top 10 because of the size, and there were 2 other guys I want to make sure I got in there, but I can't disagree. It's a great call. At number 9, I have Cam Coleman. I will give this disclaimer that I'm not super high on Coleman's overall skill set and ability. He just seems like a very linear runner with speed that can take the top off a defense. I like his ability in contested situations, but the opportunity I cannot
Right.
overlook. I mean, Auburn needs a guy like this, and Coleman's already making a name for himself this season. No matter what I think of the game film of his high school film, the experience on the field early on in his career is only going to help him. And I'm taking that into account. So Cam Coleman, I have at number 9. I think Auburn's going to be really happy that they have someone like this that's going to help out their quarterback play.
Yeah, I got him at number 10. I mean, he flashed big time in the spring game, right?
Hmm.
So, we just have to hope he doesn't turn into Seth Williams, right? So,
God, please,
you
God,
know,
no.
yeah. So, but I agree with
Yeah.
you. He's got good length. He's the big body contested catcher. You can see why he's down at number 10 for me. 9 for you again is because, again, these big body guys just, he's got to be really explosive at that size I think, to really make an impact on our dynasty roster. Number 9 for me is Ryan
Yeah.
Wingo. Couple quick notes here from my video that I did with, and I know you've already talked about Ryan Wingo at length, so I'm not going to go, but he played DB in high school, returned kicks, did jet sweeps, wildcat, versatile player as well. He got an offer from Mizzou when he was in the 8th grade.
Jesus, I didn't know that. Wow,
So, and like you
that's big
mentioned,
time.
he ran a sub 4.4 in high school. So, good route runner, defensive manipulator. I have here in my scouting notes. So, got Ringo at number 9, and I'll round it up with number 10. So, who do you got? You got some other crazy name here at number 10. So, please
I
enlighten us.
do.
Who's this guy?
Absolutely. I have Zion Kearney going to Oklahoma, 6'2", 195 pounds, and there's a possibility I'll be moving him up in my ranks just because I think the opportunity is going to be there at Oklahoma. And dude, this kid's size speed combination is outrageous. I mean, I was reading, I think it was on three had him recorded at 4.2840 at 6'2", 195. That's already ridiculous. But a lot of times I just look at that and I'm like, okay, so he's this fast, deep threat type kid. That is not him at all, man. I love the size speed combo, but I love the nuance that he has within his route stem. Very manipulative, hand fights throughout his stem, goes up and gets the ball with ease, good contested catchability, and a fluid navigator in zone coverage. I think he's got that physical play strength with the combination of the speed that we are going to be talking about when he actually hits the field and becomes a starter. It would not surprise me if he becomes a brand name very quickly. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the film. I literally thought he was just going to be this big time speedster, kind of like a Brian
Hmm.
Thomas Jr., where he's just always going down the field. Not at all. He is so much more, and I'm very excited for this kid.
Wow, man. He's ranked 33rd and 24/7. You got him at number 10. I love it, man. You
Yeah.
must have been going deep, baby. So,
I just kept watching film, and I like
yeah.
the wow moments that you talk about.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I see wow
absolutely.
moments, I check those, and
Yeah,
in high school there's going to be wow moments, but
of
I'm talking
course.
wow moments where I look for the correlation of things, the route running, separation, all that stuff. Yeah, he had a lot of check marks for me.
All right, outstanding. So there you guys got it, man. That is our top 10 freshman wide receivers headed to college football. You know, a lot of these guys are going to be C2C supplemental draft picks, guys, in your startup Devy and startup C2C leagues. These are some of the names that I'm sure most of you guys are going to be drafting.